the video sent to them. It's just going to be a link so they can download it. If they want to get the video, they can just provide me with the email address at the end of the session, and then we'll send out the link. Okay. Also, at the end of the class, we'll have a short test. Just answer the questions and everything, and then send it to support@usavisionsys.com. Anyone that has passed the test and stuff will send a certification that you have passed the VMS section of the Geovision course, and then we'll send you the little certificate. But when you also send the email in, make sure you also send the email with your name, your full name, and then your company name also, so you can when you receive the certificate, it'll have that information on there. Okay. All right, so today's session is going to be mostly on the VMS playback section, and then also the remote section of the, so you'll be able to watch the videos remotely. So this section is not going to be too long. It's going to be shorter than yesterday's session, because yesterday the live view and all the other stuff it's a lot longer on setting on up. Playback is just basically playback, so there's not much to it. Okay. I can barely hear some of you guys talking, so what we're going to do, the best thing is just to type in the chat room, and then we can, so I can read it, and then when I have time, I'll read over it. A lot of you guys are getting extreme feedback, so I can't, that's why I just mute everybody, because I got 49 people right now on the, the GoToMeeting, so it's kind of hard to hear everyone, so that's why I muted everyone. So just, there's a section on the GoToMeeting to allow you to just type it in. Sorry about that, okay? All right, so the like I said yesterday, the software that we're going to be reviewing is the VMS 17.3 and 18.1. There's only a couple of features on the 18.1 that are different from the 17.3. So that's why I'm just using the 18.1 as my platform. There are a couple benefits on the 18.1, which is like the face recognition features that. The 18.1 doesn't have face recognition, it has face recognition support. So what it is there's a program we have called FR Server, which is a program that allows you to turn any camera into a face recognition camera. And what it does is it gives you the age, gender, and the name of the person. And then that result is sent to the VMS, and the VMS keeps track of the person under live view where the person walks to under that camera. And so if you always want to look for Joe, I would type it in my view log, the word Joe, the name Joe, and it'll give me all the cameras that Joe passed, that the face recognition is associated with, and it'll look for Joe. If I don't know the person, then I just put a male between the age of 20 and 25, and it'll give me all the guys that are between that age that pass between the face recognition cameras or face recognition server. So, some of you guys already asked me questions on it, but the AI FR server or the FR server, like I said, it'll take any Geovision camera or any third-party camera, and that camera will now have the ability to do face recognition. So if you have an installation that's already pre-installed and stuff, and then a customer wants to do face recognition on certain particular cameras, like entry cameras, warehouse cameras, and certain areas that you consider like important areas, then they can turn those cameras into face recognition. So when anyone that walks into that area, the system will recognize who they are, and then it'll give you that information posted onto the VMS. If it doesn't know who they are, it'll at least give you the age and gender. I mean, that even having age and gender is nice, because what happens is, say that you have like a what do you call it, a gas station or someone, and then they rob you, and you don't know who the person. You need a basic description, so you give a basic description of what the person their age and their gender to the cops. Well, you do the same thing to the system, and then it'll pull up everyone that it thinks that between that age. Okay, and it'll give you a bunch of snapshots based on those age. Also, with the face recognition server, it does allow you to, if you don't want to use VMS, you can connect it to AS Manager. And with the AS Manager, what happens is now the face recognition cameras will associate itself with the controller. So what happens is, basically what you got to think of it this way, is the camera becomes a reader. So my face is considered like a number. So when it recognizes my face as Anthony, and then what it is, my name has a value of, I put my face number is 1111. That's my card number. And then when it sees my face, then it'll trigger it to as a card to the door. So it'll open up the door. So basically, when it sees my face, it'll say it's pretend swiped at door number 1, so the door would automatically open. So like one of the things we have is the CS1320, which is a standalone controller with a camera built into it. So all I have to do is put my face in front of that reader, and then it'll open up the door. Okay, I don't even have to swipe a card or anything like that. All right. So yesterday we went over all the live videos on the VMS section. So let me go ahead and start recording this. All right, so it's recording. So yesterday's session was on VMS 18.1 on the live section of the software, which goes over live and the EMAP features and what kind of cameras it supports, like the third-party cameras that have ONVIF support or RTSP. We also do H.264 codec or H.265 codec, which is supported on our system. And you don't have to mix the system. I mean, you don't have to have separate system. You can have one system that has combined old cameras and new cameras, so you don't have to have 2 different servers. But you that's as long as you have a computer that has newer chipset. There are limitations based on the motherboard itself, because what happens is, say I have a motherboard from like 5 or 6 years ago that has like the Sandy Bridge chipset. Sandy Bridge chipset doesn't support H.265, so I can't put H.265 cameras on there. Or I can put H.265 cameras, but I would have to take go into the camera and then change H.265 into H.264 codec. Okay, so I would have to get a motherboard that's at least 1 year old or something like that, 1 year old or newer, to support the newer chipset. Okay, so if I had like the Thunderbolt or the Haswell Broadwell, or even the newer one, Coffee Lake, those chips support the H.265. Okay, so make sure that you have at least hit that particular minimum if you're going to use the newer cameras. All right. All right. Also mentioned yesterday at the beginning of the class, we want to take any kind of questions. So if you have any questions, I'll go over it in the chat window with you guys or over on the phone. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue on with the view log section, and then I'm going to go into some other sections of it, okay? All right, so in order to get to the view log section of the software, what you do is you click on the little section at the very top right corner, which will say view log, okay? And it'll bring up the video on this side. But let me go and actually go back one step. All right, so let me show it to you this way. When you go to the view log for the very first time, what you're going to see is a screen that looks just like this. It's going to be a 2x2 screen, and it's going to have none of the cameras are going to be on the layout. Okay, we've actually had a couple customers. They start recording for a couple of days, and then they go to the view log and they see that there's no recording. Well, because you haven't added any cameras to the playback section. As you see in camera in the grid 1, 2, 3, and 4, there are no cameras there. So what you need to do is you need to actually drag and drop the cameras that you want to see in order to actually watch the playback. Okay. So to do that, it's very easy. What you do is you go to the very top section where it says Toolbar, click on that, and then go to Content List. Okay. And then in Content List, the first thing what you're going to do is you can use this. So we'll use the first layout first. So you click on the section that says camera right here. It'll drop down the list of all the cameras, and whatever camera you want, you just drag it and you drop it into the window to the section that you want to see it in. Okay. Once you have done that, what you'll notice is at the very bottom of the screen will give you a bunch of slashes on the screen. Okay. So when you're getting the slashes on the screen, that means that there's the red one means that there's film there based on motion detection. Okay, if you're doing and if it's blue, that one means that it's round the clock recording. Okay, not motion recording. It's round the clock. Right? All right, so you got the round-the-clock recording here. As you see here for the BX4700, looks like there is no video. But what you do is any of these cameras that you want to see a particular time, you have to actually click on it. So like this AVD 8710, I just click on it, and you'll see the timeline right here. The information changes, right? When I click on the next one, it changes. Okay. What that means is that that's the film that's on there for that particular camera. So if I go to earlier time, see, it's only the AVD has film on there because there's most likely it's because of these lights there causing it to record. But these other three cameras, so there's no film on there. But if I go to the BX, click on there, and then I go to one of the red sections, click on that. And then there's film right there, okay? So what you see is right here, it says BX4700. This timeline right here on top tells you if there's film, okay? But the timeline on the bottom means that any of the 20 cameras or 30 cameras I have, if there's film on that particular time, it's going to mark it, okay? So that's telling you an overall, of any of the cameras, do I have time on any of them, okay? All right, so the next thing I want to show you is one thing I like to do is go to the toolbar and go to Content List. And under Content List, if you go to the very top, go to Add, and then go to Add Layout. You can add your own layout. But one of the things I like to do is go to the Add button right here instead, and then click on Import Live View. Okay, let me actually delete this. All right, so I'm going to click on this Add, and then click on Import from Live View. When I click on that, what it does is all the layouts that I have on my live view are now here on my playback. Okay, so what that does is it makes it kind of easier for me to see the video that's happening on the live and playback, because they're all in the same coordinates now. If I were looking on the live, and it would be in the same position, so it makes it easier. I'm not sure what do you mean by syncing all three cameras at the same time. But what it is based on time. So whatever time it says at 9 o'clock, then it'll play that film that is available at 9 o'clock. So whatever film that's available at that particular time, it'll play. If there is no film, it won't play anything. So it just is whatever film, because it's all this is based on time.
So basically what I'm asking, Anthony, is if you, like in your case in the store, if I'm looking for a certain individual and I know that he was in the vicinity of 3 certain cameras, can I sync in all those 3 cameras and look back at the same time?
Yeah, so what you can do is, instead of this way, what you can do is you can make a layout, like the default layout. No, not the default. Let's go to, I can't maybe make a 3x3, or let's just do a 2x2 layout. And then what you do now is hit here where it says sync camera, I just say no. And then what I do is I go to the cameras that I know that the person was at, and I drag and drop the cameras that he's at. All right. Then I can go to the very bottom and then choose what the time frame that I want to use to investigate that particular person. So I don't have to bring up all 30 cameras. I can just bring up those particular cameras based on the layout I designed.
Got it.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So the layout design and pretty much of the basic functions of the 17.3 and 18.1 are basically identical. So they're not going to be different. They only added certain new functions, which is like the, which I'll go over right now. It's remember I told you to say that a criminal came in and you only know that he's between the age of 30 to 35. So instead of me going to looking for it, what I can do now is I can go to go to Toolbar, go to Tools, and then go to Face Recognition. And then under Face Recognition, I go right here, Query. And then I can choose what cameras that the person was at. But what it is I need to choose the cameras that have the face recognition that are built on it. Only certain ones I've added in here. Then I go to here to go to the gender. He's a male between the age of 30 to 40. And I hit search. And then, so right here, it gave me a little extra. So there's a 40, 31, 40, and 35. And it gives me a picture of the person, okay? And then also, see right here, BX 4700, 400. So it tells you what camera that the person was at. What's nice also is if I double click on it, it'll bring me to the film to where it'll start to play back, okay? So I don't have to, what do you call it, look for it anymore. It's already knows what date, what time, and what camera it is, so you can play back the film based on that particular time, all right? One other feature that the 18.1 has is this feature right here is say that you have a picture of a person. You can actually do a search based on the person. Say that the cops come in and they say, I'm looking for this person. Did he come into your store? And you don't know because you went there all day. So you can have the cops give you the picture and you can put it into the system, and the system will actually search for that person's face. All right. All right. All right, so this is one of the layouts that I have on my live view. As you see, it's loading up. It takes a little time. But one of the things I like to do also for as a technical support side is I like to use this little button at the very bottom right corner. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but there's a picture of an arrow that goes up. So when I click on that, what happens is it brings me this screen right here. Now this screen, some people will say, okay, that's fine and dandy, but it doesn't tell me too much. Well, actually, this one actually tells me stuff because it kind of tells me, look at this on the SP4800 channel 1. I haven't been recording anything, okay? And then camera 24, between the hours of 12 o'clock midnight to 5 o'clock in the morning, I only got one recording, something going on, whatever. So it kind of gives me an idea to see if I'm doing any kind of technical support, if I'm trying to find out if a camera went down or something like that. It kind of gives me an idea if certain cameras went down throughout the whole day. Also, at the very top left corner, I can go back a day, so I can look at yesterday's recording. So as you see here, between the hours of about almost 8:50 to 7:50 to almost 10 o'clock, there was no recording. Okay, so there's something that went wrong. So then I can go into the system and look at try to do some technical things on it. Like one thing I would do is next is go to the toolbar right here, go to Tools, go to System Log, and then go to the Monitor table. And then in the Monitor table, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for anything that I had right here that says connection loss. So right here I have a connection loss on a camera, and I go through the list to see if any other cameras had connection loss. All right, so there's no camera loss, so then I go to the systems here and see if anyone has stopped the recording. Okay, let's see right here, someone's been logging in and out of the system. So it kind of gives me basic information on what's been going on and see why there was no recording. And I believe this is because of the course I was teaching. I was doing the backup for you guys yesterday. That's why there was no recording between that hours. Okay, so this is a very useful window to go to just to do some basic technical issues. Okay. All right. Now in this Playback, we also have, remember I told you yesterday that we have video analytics? Well, the video analytics are also built into the software itself for Playback. So you can go into the system and see if anything happened. You can do a research based on the video analytics, that it do its job instead of you having to sit in front of the film. Okay? So what you could do is say that this is the camera I'm interested in, the AVL 8712. I'm going to go to a particular time. All right, so I'm going to use this one right here as my reference. Okay, this film 8712. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go say that someone came here and someone walked around my car and they had scratched it, right? So what you can do is, all I know is I came in at 7 o'clock, so I'm going to start at 7 o'clock. And then between 7 and 8, someone scratched my car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the very bottom. I'm going to go on the right click on it, and it starts to highlight. If it's hard for you to see, you'll see that it starts to highlight everything blue. Okay? You keep on going until it hits 8 o'clock, and then let go. And then what you do next is go to Object Search. You click on that. And then next thing we're going to do is we have these types of alarms at the very top. Okay. What I want to do is I want to choose alarm. So I click on alarm, and then I click on settings. Now what I do is I draw a box around my car, and then hit alarm region. Okay, and then hit OK, and then hit search. Now what this one does is it'll search through the film and look for anyone that has walked around, that has been around my particular car between the hours of 7 and 8. The system will automatically check for me if anyone violated that surrounding area. So I don't have to watch 1 hour of film. I can let the system look for it instead of me having to look for it. As you see right here, no one hasn't found anything yet. But once it does find something, it'll put the snapshot of it into the little boxes here. The little boxes are the snapshots of the events. Okay. We'll just let it go and see if it finds anyone for now. So you guys are asking regarding about the video analytics that are on the 18. So there are just a couple extra video analytics. The video analytics section, one is it has the ability to blur faces out now. So there are a couple of customers are asking, like, if I have a public area and I can't record people's faces and stuff like that. Well, this allows you to record the faces, but not able to identify who they are because it blurs it out for you. So it has that analytics. The other one is it has the ability to do the face recognition searches based on the face recognition detection on the FR server. So so what happens is, say whatever cameras are associated from the FR server are not, the information is now going to be sent to the VMS. So what happens now is, say if it detects Joe, I can have the VMS send out an alarm or send me an email letting me know that Joe has arrived. Because say I put Joe as a VIP customer or unwanted or whatever, so I can go into the system. Let me show you. So I can go to right here, go to Home, go to Face Manager, Devices, Camera, and Alert. And then what I'm going to do is go to the FR server. So this BX4700, whenever it detects an unauthorized person, I want it to send me an email letting me know it detected that person. Okay. The blurring of the faces is not part of the FR server. It's part of the VMS. Okay. So this one right here, once it detects the unauthorized person that came on my place, it'll send me an email letting me know that unauthorized, or maybe not an email, maybe I'm going to do an IO trip. So whenever an unwanted person comes on, I can have it turn on a light or turn on an alarm letting me know that the person came onto my campus. Okay. Or an authorized person came on and I have it open up the door automatic or turn on the lights automatic. All right. So you can do a lot of weird things with this. Those are built into the VMS side. It's not built into the FR server. It doesn't have really the ability to send text, but you can actually send text. What you do is it's pretty easy. What you do is you use the phone number that you're going to use. So say my phone number is I use Verizon. So what it is, it's going to be my phone number at vtext.mobile.com or something like that. text.vtext.com for Verizon or something like that. And then what it does is it'll send me text messages to my phone instead of sending me emails. There's also another one that is for SMS, and those are actually ones that allow you to send for the, well, there's two types. There's basic text, and there's also media text. You can also send media pictures, but you have to send it to the media account, not the regular text account. You just have to Google that information. Just go to Google. Google, hold on. Where's my... I already done it. All right, so right here is like for AT&T, it will be the phone number at text.att.net. So that'll actually send a text message instead of sending sending it as an email. Okay. So what you do is in the email section, what you do is where you SMTP, put it for like Gmail, and then from your Gmail account, send it to my phone. So my phone number at text.att.com. So now it'll send a text message to my phone whenever motion or the face recognition or whatever I'm doing for alerts. Okay. Also, what the other one was, the SMS is basic text. The other one is MMS. That one is the one that does the multiple media. So that allows you to send for the pictures into your text message. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people like me. A lot of customers want to get text messages, and that at least because getting email, you don't really know until you get to your desk or to your look for it. Text message is just boom right away. All right. All right. So we closed the view. So on the object detection, looks like no one did scratch my car. No one did scratch, but anyways, it went through the film and see anyone that walks around my car, anyone that's in the vicinity of my car, it'll put a check mark around it. So this is a good way to do extra searches based on certain criteria. This is a very useful tool. So say that you're doing 4 or 5 hours worth, you don't have to actually sit here in front of the system looking for that particular person. Like if one was the hospital, they had actually an ATM machine there, and the whole ATM machine got up and walked away. No, it was not. It was it's a Sonic for their for one of the testing for the blood thing. Got up and walked away, and so what it is they put a box around it, and they watched the film and see anyone that came around and played with the machine. So they were able to find one of the nurses that actually took the machine between a certain time. They just couldn't find it out later on. All right. Anyway, it's a very useful tool. You just gotta play around with it and see what you want it to use it for. Also, a couple other features that are available in the in here is the ability to count objects. So we do have the option in here. Instead of alarm, you got the option to do counter, and then hit settings. And what you do is you actually just draw a box between here to there, and then another box here to there. So and then let me flip it. There you go. So what I do is I put anyone that goes from box 0 to box 1 is considered my in. Anyone that goes from box 1 to box 0 is my out. And then I watch the film. So those 2 hours or whatever amount of time I select, it'll tell me how many people came out of my complex area. Okay. That can be done under Playback, but also that the counter feature is also a video analytic that's built into the live view. So you can actually have counters on your system for your like this one here, the ABL. I can put a counter, or for right here, I can put a counter here that anyone that comes into this section of the video process, SV, and then I do a counter, and then this is camera number 4, and I hit settings. And then I do here, and then I just draw a box. All right, and then I can put object size also. And then hit the live test, and then what it does is it'll count any objects that goes from this side to that side, letting me know how many cars came through, and it won't count people because the minimum size object I drew was bigger than the size of a person. Okay. All right. So we have that. Also, another thing we have is we have the ability to do playback, which is giving the film to police and stuff like that. So what we do is, if I have a police that comes down that wants to see like this ABL camera, so what I do is I select on it, and he wants my film between the hours of 8 to 9. What I do is I right-click on it, I drag, and I let go at 9 o'clock, and then I go to Save as ABI. And then I can go into here and then only choose the ABL camera. Actually, this is the wrong camera. All right, so I want this film right here, and then I can go to the settings, and this will allow you to export it to a particular file or to your desktop. Usually, customers like to put it to their desktop, so you can put it on your desktop. Another thing that you may want to do is at the very bottom is you can add copyright. But one of the things that we've changed, not really changed, but we've added on here is the ability to, instead of WMD9 now, we actually have the ability to actually export this as a codec now of H.264. And I believe the H.264 codec, when you export it, is a lot faster than the MD9. The MD9 was a lot more, a different kind of compression rate. So going from H.264 to the WMD9 took a lot longer. So now going from H.264 to H.264 or H.265 to H.264, the compression should be a lot faster on the exporting of the film. Okay. But what it is it's exporting them as a standard codec, not as a what do you call it, as a geo codec. All right. You can also, we do have the option right here for the export resolution. You can change the resolution into a lower resolution. All right. So instead of exporting a high quality video, you can have the system export it as a lower quality video. That way the system doesn't take as long. So it's that feature has just been recently added also on the, I think, the last couple versions back. On the H.264 version for export for H.264, I believe that one's been added to 17.3. 17.2 they didn't. I believe it's going to be it's been added for the newer version. But let me double check on that. I'm just trying to remember things on the top of my head. All right. You can also imprint the date timestamp them onto the film. Okay. You can export it as an exe. But one thing you got to be very careful about the exe is sometimes some people make, some computers may consider them as viruses and things like that, because a lot of computers, they don't like exe files. Because but basically what this exe is just kind of a zip file. It's just a self-extracting zip, and then it'll, once it's done extracting, it'll autoplay into Windows. But one thing you got to be careful on is the type of codec you're using might not be playable on the Windows player when it self-extracts, so that it may cause an issue on that side. Okay. All right, so we have that feature, but we also have another feature which is a lot faster. If you right-click on it and you drag, and then you let go, it's called backup. Now, backup is different from, VLC is kind of one of the players that we recommend for pretty much everything. I really like VLC. VLC is I think is one of the best players out there, because you can do RTSP, you can do live streaming, network streaming, convert videos, make your own videos, all kinds of stuff. And it's a very small player. I think it's considered one of the best. I prefer to use that one over Media Player or any of the Windows players. Okay. Anyways, back to the backup feature. The backup feature is what it does. It's actually not converting or doing anything extra. What its job is to do is take the original film and back it up to a CD or back it up to a hard drive or something. It takes the original film and back it up and move it somewhere. All right, but it still keeps the original copy, but it's just moving the original film. Usually this one right here is not done too much. This one is usually only going to be used when you're going to give it to the attorney or someone that needs the original. Because usually when you're giving the copies are usually going to be at the first initial stage in the investigation or something like that. So you just need to give them the quick file on that, and that's it. When they run the original to prosecute the people, then this is where you would go to export the original video file. Okay. One of the nice feature about this this export feature is you select the video film and the date and time that you want, right? When you click here on OK, say there are certain cameras I don't want, so I uncheck those cameras. Let's just uncheck all of them except for a couple. So say these are the 2 cameras I want, okay? So that's going to be a total of 40 films, okay? So 26 plus 14. I hit OK, and it's going to use up 1.7 gigs. So one of the features that I really like is right here. This feature allows you to include the view log. So what happens is a lot of people don't install programs onto their system. So what happens is the view log program will actually be included onto the CD that you give to the cops or whatever. So what happens is, say that I burn this film to the CD or DVD. What happens is when they pop it into their system, the file will be self-executable. It will automatically start the view log program so they can start watching the playback film. So they don't have to actually go through and do anything. It just does it all by itself. Okay, so you'll be able to see this view log program and start playing automatic without having to do any extra work. Okay, so that's the view log program. There's another one here called single player. Single player is a little more decompressed. It's okay. It's an okay program, but it doesn't give you a lot of the features. If I already use the view log is a really nice feature because it allows me to gives me the ability to do all this stuff after the fact. Say that I gave you the cops the film between the 8 to 9, but the cops wants to do some editing on the film also. Well, with the view log program, it allows them to do the editing from the VMS program that you gave them on the CD. So say that they want to zoom in, or they want to film only certain cameras, or they want to do a save AVI also. Well, you can do that all from the little version that you give to the cop on the CD. Okay. All right, as you see here, on the EVD camera, there's 26 films, and then the AVL, there's 14 films. So this tells you how much hard drive space and how much film there are that will be given to the police. All right, hit OK, and then it burns the DVD. All right, the one that's right here that's using DVD or CD-ROM, this will use the built-in version from Microsoft, so it'll use that burner. But if you have like Nero or Rixio, you can use that program to to burn your CDs also. Okay. All right. Another thing that we have here, which is not used too much, and you gotta be very, very careful, is when I right-click on here, I drag and then let go. There's an option here to do delete. And then the delete is something we don't want people to mess with. As you remember, there's a way to set up your account to be a supervisor and user accounts and stuff like that. When you set up a user account, the option for delete is subdued, so they won't be able to select it. But as a supervisor, you do have the ability to delete the film from the system by selecting this option. Okay. But another option that's really nice is this never recycle option right here. So you can choose all the cameras or a particular camera to be marked that so when the system starts to get old and it starts to delete old files, it'll actually delete other files, but it still keep the original files there that you select as never to delete. When you hit the delete option, it'll pop up this one window, and then it'll ask you what date. You still have to go through a couple procedures instead of just delete. That's it. It has to go through a couple of steps, but yeah, once you hit the delete right here, then yeah, it's gone. Okay. I don't believe it's gonna ask you. If I click, yeah, right here gives me one last chance to ask me do I want to or not. So if I put no, so at least right here it can't be restored. Okay. So let me get out of that. All right, so all the options I showed you, those are actually the quick way. If you go to Toolbar Tools, they have the feature right here to do the backup, the delete, the save as API. For me, I don't prefer to use this option because when I click on here, I have to go to the window and type in the date and time and everything, and it's kind of I don't know. For me, it's messy and it's kind of a pain. Why can't I just go here to the very bottom? Forget this right here. Go to the bottom, select the time I want, right-click on it, drag, let go, and then there you go. I'm done. All right. It's for me, it's kind of a pain. I like to do everything very simple. All right. Next thing I want to go do is Toolbar Tools, and then also I just want to refer here just 1 second. This system log is a lot of people don't use it, but you guys got to understand this system log, especially the monitor table or the advanced section, is very important because it tells you when cameras are lost, when cameras are there, or whatever. This allows you to do what do you call it, research and stuff like that. It allows you to see what's going on. If a system is down between a certain hour and a certain time, it tells you exactly when it stopped recording and things like that, or who logged into the system, who logged out of the system, who deleted things from the system. It tells you what IP address logged into the system too. So it's very important to just check this every once in a while to see who's been doing things to your system. Okay. One other feature that's been recently added here, the Pos Search Engine right here. This one actually is different from the version that's on the 17.3. 17.3 just gave you a basic, like a word search. If I were to look up the word Coke, it just finds the word Coke and that's it. And that doesn't help me. Well, this version right here, I can look for the word Coke, but it also associates with the video. I want to see who bought my Coke, right? The Coca-Cola or whatever. I want to see the video and the receipt that's associated with it. So the version 18.3, they have actually taken the older version of if you guys remember multicam, it has the option for POS search. It uses the same type that's on that version. They on the 17 and 16, they made a new version, and that new version isn't good at all. This newer version on 18.1 is a lot better, okay? Because I can go into the system and look at particular receipts with a certain value and certain words and things like that, and it associates that with a video clip. Okay, so for me, if I'm doing POS, it's very important for me to know, okay, who's the cashier that ringed up that transaction, and I want to see what they're actually doing. Did they actually give them extra money, or did they pocket the money, or did they the money just flew away or disappeared, or what? I want to see the video. Okay. Unfortunately, the version on 17.3, 17.2, it doesn't do that. Okay. It'll find the word and show you and tell you the date and time, but then you got to go look for the video. Okay. I want everything automatic. So this 18.3 is everything automatic. Okay. All right. So those are the main features that we're going to go over. One thing I want to also show you a little extra is this feature right here is called Storyline. Now, Storyline is it's a really unique feature. There's only a couple customers I know that are actually using this. But basically, what Storyline, think of it this way: is you know how people make movies? It's basically a bunch of hundreds of cameras that are recording, and what they do is they take all those cameras of action and they stitch the video to be a movie, right? So basically what this is, the Storyline is the same concept, okay? The Storyline is, what you need to do is basically you need to know what happened between a certain hour. Say that something happened between the hours of 8 to 9, like a person came into my store and stole something, but when he came into my store, he walked between certain cameras, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to watch the film first. You're going to have to watch the film and mark down what time that person was at what camera, okay? So what you're going to do is, to activate Storyline is very easy. As you see here, this is the camera I'm going to choose for now. What I do is I go Tools. First, actually, I have to hit play, and then go to Tools, and then hit the Why is it? All right, give me storyline is not working. I gotta find out why is it not doing that, but I'm gonna show you on live view. Live view is easy to be done also. So let's say that this is the camera I want. What I do is I go here, go to Tools, and then go to look like they this is embarrassing. I got to figure out why the storyline feature is not here. But on the version 17.3, I know the storyline feature is available. I got to see why storyline is not available on 18.1. It does show there in the option in the playback. There's a feature called storyline, but there's no option here when I right-click. But basically what it is, if you have version 17, you do is click on this option here called Tools. You have to be recording, right? And then when you click on Tools, there's going to be an option here called Storyline. When you click on it, this red will now turn orange, okay? Oh, no. Here, hold on, I forgot. I remember how to do it now. Sorry, it's just let's just call it's a brain part, okay? So let me move this camera out of the way. Let me close this camera. Sorry about that. So, in order to do storyline, this is how you do it. What you need to do is you go to Toolbar, go to Content List, okay? And then at the very top of the window, what you do next is you go to go to the Windows option right here, expand it, and then right here where it says Zoom Window, you drag this and drop it right here. All right. Now this window right here is called Zoom. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to take one of the cameras and put it into that window. So now this window is in my Zoom window. Okay. Now what I do is I go to the very bottom right corner, click on this. I have an option here called Storyline. Okay. So when I click on Storyline, you click on this, and then what you do is you hit play, and then you watch the film. Okay. Now what you do is you watch the film, and then you watch the guy come into the store. He's right there, and then he starts to walk away, and then he goes to a different camera. So I go to the other camera, I click on the other Zoom window, and then I follow him around the store to different cameras. Okay. So once I follow him to different cameras, I just keep on clicking on Zoom. It's kind of a bad example what I'm showing right now. I just keep on clicking on what cameras that the guy goes to over and over and over. Actually, let me start over. Let me start at 9 o'clock, okay? All right, let me start here at 9 o'clock because I ran out of time. So let me start here at 9 o'clock. So you go down here, Tools, and then you click on Storyline, and then right here it turns orange, okay? So what you do is you're basically watching this particular film to see if someone walks by and stuff, and they go to a different camera. So I go to the other camera that the guy is at. So he's over here at this camera right here. So I select this camera, and it's still recording, and so on. So basically what you're doing is you're watching the film and watching for that person, whatever cameras that he goes to. And I keep on selecting the cameras that he goes to. All right. Once he has left the store, and stuff like that. So he's over here at this camera. All right. So now say that he has left the store. The next thing I do is I click on. Get rid of this stupid. Click on this, and then go to Storyline, and then say it's a crime. Now I go back to the system, and then I go to Tools, and then there's a Storyline right here. And then I have the film right here. So what it is it's an MP4 file. So what this MP4 file is now is it's the storyline of the person going from camera to camera. I create a film of him doing something. Just to let you know, this can be done under Playback and Live View. Live View is a lot harder because you don't know what camera, unless you really know the cameras that the person is going to be going to. then you can do it. But under Playback, it's a lot easier because you already have the film and you know what camera at what time he's going to go to each camera. All right. So I go through the system and I select what camera that he goes to, and then what it does is it creates an MP4 file. And if the MP4 file is a really small file, and you can give it to someone, and it can be played on your phone, you can be played on your computer, be played anywhere without having to install any additional playback codec or anything like that. Okay, it's a really useful tool on generalizing something. So instead of me giving the police 30 films, I'm giving the cop one film of the guy walking around 30 different cameras. Okay, so that's one of the things it makes it a really, really useful tool. All right, so that's pretty much all the features on the Playback. There's not too much to it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the web section of the VMS software. But what we're going to do is just going to take a 10-minute break, and then I'll be back to continue on. It should be about another hour, and we'll be pretty much done. Then after that, we're going to take a couple-minute test, and anyone that wants to take tests, go ahead and take the test, and then email us the answer and things like that. I'll put more information later. All right? So we'll take a 10-minute break. I'll be back at 10:10. All right? All right, so one of you guys have a question about the storyline. Let me go over it again. I kind of went through it really fast. So storyline can be done under live video or Playback. But what happens is you actually need to use one of the windows to do the Playback. Okay, I mean to do the storyline. So I'm going to do this under live. Okay. So what I need to do next is I need to have one window. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to Toolbar, Content List, and then under Content List, under Layout, I select Layout, and then there's a section here called Windows. I select that, and then there's an option here called Zoom Window. All right, I drag that, I let go, and then now I have a window right here called Zoom. Now, when you look at a film, look at this, like, this is a VD8700. When I hover over the VD8700 live video, you see that little option right here called Zoom. When I click on that, that Zoom will now appear on the left side because this is my Zoom window, all right? So when I click on that, anything I see here will now be recorded as a film called Storyline. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to the very bottom, go to Tools, and then go to Storyline. When I click on the Storyline option, the VD8700 on the top left corner is now going to turn orange. So now it's recording, all right? So now what I do is I'm going to watch all my live video and see if anything goes on. So unfortunately, we're going to have to pretend something has happened. So say that a guy came onto my campus. So the guy is right here on my campus walking around, or he's just driving through, all right? So he's over here. So what I do is I select on the Zoom window, and it'll pop up in that window, all right? Once he's there, say that he decides to come into my office, I can go to my next one, say that he's here, and he's walking around, and you're filming him, and then say that he goes in front of the VD8700 camera, right? And then he decides to go in front of the BX camera, so you select the BX right here, all right? So whatever cameras that he walks between, the system will identify. You can keep on selecting, and then he leaves the store. Okay. All right. So now you're done. So you gotta go to Tools, and you uncheck Storyline. Once you uncheck your Storyline, then you're gonna name it something like a customer 10 a.m. So customer that came in at 10 a.m. Right. So I go to View Log. I go to Tools, Toolbar, Tools, and then go to Storyline, and then right here, Customer at 10 a.m. So I double click on it, and now I can watch the film of the customer that came into my office at 10 a.m. Okay? So this has to be done in the Zoom window. Okay? You'll watch this, and then after that, it'll flip over to another one. Okay? and after that, it'll flip over to another one, okay? So it's a very nice feature. It can be done under live and playback. Yeah, so as you see right here, this is the live version, but this is my playback. Playback I prefer to do under playback because playback you can actually watch the person do his crime, and then you have like 60 cameras, and you got to know which camera, what date, and what time, and everything, right? So I can just make a little script of what cameras and what time and everything that he has gone, and then I use the zoom window to click on which camera at which time, and then I can make a nice movie of the guy stealing his product, walking around the store and leaving the store, and then provide the police that one particular film. Okay. Just to let you guys know, also this storyline, this is a location that it saves to. You may not want it there, so if you don't want the recordings to be under that folder, you can go to the record settings right here, and then set up the location of the storyline to be saved into like the desktop or to another hard drive or whatever. Okay. Just to let you know, also the storyline, the maximum is 2 megapixel. So what happens is whatever cameras that you select, the maximum will be 2 megapixel. So even if I select a 5 megapixel, that 5 megapixel will be 2 megapixel quality. Because basically what storyline is doing is basically giving you the ability to make a story, a film, and give it to the police. It's not there to design to give you this high quality movie. That wasn't the intent for that design. Something to give you nice, quick and stuff. Because that's why it's also made as an MP4 file, because the MP4 can be played on basically anything without having to install a digital codec. I can email it to someone, and then they can load it up on their phone, and they can watch it on their phone because it's MP4. Okay. So for the export this, actually what you have to do is go to so right here, this VMS storyline, that's the location. So you actually go to the folder. So that's why some people put it on their desktop. Okay. Also, when it saves the file, you can on the beginning you can also rename it under the playback option right here. Okay, so you have the ability to filter and say that you had a whole bunch of. You can look for a particular word or date and time because you may be making a lot of stories. I'm not sure. I've made a 20-minute film. I haven't made one longer than that. I mean, I could try, but I know you can make a pretty long film. But I like to use it just to make basic stories and stuff like that. But actually, I would have to actually find out what the maximum is. I've only gone up to 20 minutes. That's the longest I have done, and I kind of got bored and stuff. All right. One of you guys were asking about the thing. So this is the download link for the FR server. The FR server is, as I mentioned before, it's a paid software. It supports from 1 channel all the way up to 8 channel. So you can have take up to 8 cameras and turn them into face recognition. And as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be Geovision. I can have Acti, I can have Axis, Vivotech, any of those particular model cameras, and then as long as they're running OnVIF or RTSP, I can convert those into make the what do you call the face recognition. Okay. Also, there's a section on here, but this is not where you would do it. But this keeps record. Say that I want to add my face. Yeah. So as you see, it says Wiegand 26. So this is also where you can associate your face to be a card. So when it detects my face, my face is a card. So it'll be like a fake swipe, and my face will open up a door. You just go to in the AS Manager and say between the hour of 8 to 5. So when I come in at 8 o'clock, the door will automatically open when it sees my face. If I come in at 7:30, it won't open up the door until it sees my face back again at 8 o'clock. Okay. So basically, your face is your card. Okay. Also, if you don't want to do that, there's another thing. It's kind of weird. It's called a welcome thing. So when it sees my face, you can have it send a message to like a thing. It's like a bullet point thing. So when it sees my face, it'll plaster my face on there, and I'll say welcome, and then Anthony, or welcome Joe, or welcome whatever into the building. Okay. So it's just a little welcome thing. It's pretty generic. Let me see if the video is done for yesterday. Actually, looked like I had a problem uploading. So it looked like I had a problem uploading, so I got to re-upload again. I'll send it out to you guys once it's done, okay? I got a list from people, like 20 people yesterday. But at the end of class of today also, I'll upload this video. I want to have everyone provide me the email address at the end of class if they want the film. If not, then don't put your email address, all right? So let me take a break, a couple minutes. I need to freshen up my throat. I'll be back in about 5 minutes, okay? All right, hi everyone, I'm back. So I'm gonna go back over some of the questions. One I have yeah, there are some some cameras have the face recognition already built into the camera. We have like the VD8700 or the FD8700. So those are the cameras that have built in. But this is kind of a secondary use for customers that have cameras that are pre-built into their place and that want to start using face recognition because it's new technology and you just don't want to buy a new camera for that feature. Plus, I mean, FR cameras are kind of expensive on its own and stuff. So this one right here is it's an Intel-based system that uses the face recognition engine that will take any kind of live streaming video of up to 2 megapixels and then convert it into, decrypt the information and then give you the person's name and stuff like that. Currently, it only does age and gender and face recognition. There are a couple other features that are going to be available. That's going to be based on another software called what's his name? Smart Retail. We have a what we call a program coming out called Smart Retail. It's more for POS side. So the face recognition will also be able to detect the person's mood and things like that, and also your reaction. Say that you're looking over your shoulder and things like that, and it'll consider it to be that the person might be stealing something or something like that. So anyways, that's all related to the POS side for Smart Retail. All right. The zoom window isn't only, it was originally designed just to zoom in and stuff like that. The storyline is a new feature that was added from versions 16 something to now. All right, so zoom window can be used for a lot of different things, but they decided to use put the storyline in that function of it. Okay. So just to let you guys also know, the FR server, the current version right now is a system base that does the up to 8 channels. We will release later on a little box that will do the face recognition. So the stream will go into this. Kind of think of it like how our video server, our little video server boxes look like. It'll kind of look like that in a way. But what it is, all the video streamers will come into that, and then it'll do the face recognition in that. So it's going to be like, I believe it's going to be like Linux based, and then it'll send the information out. All right. So we're going to have a box version, and then we'll have a computer server version. But currently, we only have the computer server version at this time. Okay. Yeah, on a very, very big installation, unfortunately, the FR server only supports 8 cameras at this time. It's just that the initial design of it is only support 8. They may increase that at a later time. Before, it used to be only 4. Now it's 8. Who knows? Maybe later on it's going to be 16. But for now, it's only 8. But it'll allow you to, if you need more cameras, you can put in more cameras to be so you can connect 2, 3, 4, up to I think up to 10 systems for FR server. The FR server has a feature called master slave. I mean, it's kind of a weird name, but what it is you have a system that is going to be the master unit, and then the slave units are going to be the additional connectors to it. So what happens is whatever happens on that unit, the information is also sent to the master unit, which will keep a master record of everything that's gone on. It's kind of think of it, it's kind of that way. So if one of the slave system, one of the client system that detected a person on his side, that information is recorded there, but also sent to the master logger, and he keeps a record of everything that goes on. The EBD 4700 does not have face recognition built in. There's one thing that you guys also understand. There's an acronym on there. If it says FR, that means it has face recognition. If it says FD, that means it's face detection. So we have quite a few cameras that has a thing called face detection. And what it is the camera's analytics that are built in has the ability to detect faces a lot better than a standard camera. So when you put those cameras onto the FR, the results are a little bit more better. You get a little bit higher, better result on your detection rate than a standard camera, because it's able to detect round faces and things like that instead of detecting regular objects as faces and things like that. Because on a standard camera, it's just what you see is what you get. So once it sees a person and then it detects it and then recognizes them, but the face detection, it detects the person's face and then it marks that particular area that the face is at, and it kind of makes the job of the FR server a little bit easier for it. The physical version, I'm guessing probably around September or October version release. We did demo this at the last year's ISE West. Probably some people saw it. It looked like a PoE injector, but yeah, we will have. We do have some pictures of it, but it's not officially been released yet. So I'm guessing it's only about maybe around October time, about Q4. Okay. Right now, we don't know if the limitation is still going to be at 8 or not. As the beta version of the software was at 4. Now, when the release version came out, it's at 8 now. So maybe with the later version, it'll be at a higher. It's just that the processor, the GPU processing of on the motherboard, as the speed increases, we'll be able to detect, do the face recognition at a higher speed. And once that can be accomplished, then they'll be able to handle more cameras. Right now, it's just a limitation based on the GPU decoding information from Intel. Okay. All right. So the next thing I'm going to go over is if you go to Toolbar, go to not Toolbar, go to the Live View, and go to Toolbar, go to Network, and then go to Webcam Server. Okay. When you click on it, you might have to click on it twice. Now I'm going to just go over this section right here. By default, the port is 80, 4550, and 5550. Once you have opened up the ports on the router, port 80, 4550, and 5550, this allows you to see the what do you call it, the videos from a web browser externally. Just to let you guys know, the current version of 17.3 and 18.1 will support some of the features more into Firefox and Chrome and Edge and things like that. 17.4 we'll be adding more functions like on Chrome. We'll have the multi-window function for Chrome. Also the playback features. So we're going to be adding more and more functions for alternate browsers as time goes on 17.4 and so on, and even 18.1, 18.2 will add more also. Okay. Currently it only supports certain functions, but we're adding more and more now. Okay. We do have SDKs and stuff for our VMS software, and VMS 18.1 is not out yet, SDK for that, but it'll be out soon. And then the SDK for FR server will be released also soon. So a lot of the SDKs are going to be released. You just have to contact your sales rep and get information regarding about the SDKs, and then sign the NDA and things like that, and then they'll provide you the SDKs. Okay. All right. So back to the remote view, we have the port 80, 4550, and 5550. Those have to be opened up on your router to get the playback. Port 80 is the web browser. Port 4550 and 5550 is for the live video and the what's his name, the ability to control the PTZ and stuff like that. So you need the data and the command port to control those functions. All right. If you want other things like audio, you have to open up port 6550. But there are a lot of areas that are you got to be very, very careful on, because certain states like California, you can't be recording audio without two-party consent. So you may not want to be recording audio depending on the state that you're located in. Okay. All right. One of the things I want to go over is, you see here that port 80 here is open. Port 4550 and 5550 needs to be open up on your browser. One of the sites that we use for tech support that I really recommend customers start to use is a site called CanYouSeeMe.org. CanYouSeeMe.org is a very useful site. So say that I'm going to be checking in to see if my port is open. It'll pull up my IP address and what port, and I hit check, and it says my port is open. And if I 4550, I hit that one and hit check and see if it's open, and it'll say if it's open or not. Say if I have so right there it says 4550 is not open. Okay, so I can check to see which ports are open, which ports are not open. It's a very useful tool, because what happens is customers will call and they'll say that they can't get remote connections. Why can't I see my video? As you see here, my web page, if I use my web page will open, but I won't get any video, because 5550 is not open and 4550 is open, but port 80 is open. That means the web page is working, but the video port is not working. Port 56000 is the port that you use for your iPhone or Android. For the GVI, it uses port 56000. So this is telling me if I were to connect with my phone will work. Okay. So CanYouSeeMe.org will work. It's a very useful tool. It's good for checking local businesses, but as you see here, I can't type anything if I want to check someone else's site. So for tech support, what we usually do is we use this one here called You Get Signal. You get Signal. All you need is this one right here. You can type in someone's IP address. All right. I'm just making something up right now. And then you hit check, and then I'll tell you if the port's open. So if you're doing technical support for a customer, and they call it and they say they can't get remote connection, so you type in their IP address and then type in their port number, and you can find out if the port's open. You can also go do DNS names here. So if I were going to type in like Yahoo, I don't know what some people just type say Yahoo and I hit check. It says Yahoo's IP address is open. All right. One thing a lot of people don't know is you can also go into the looks like what's they won't allow me to use that function. All right, never mind. All right, so you do port checking here, which is a very useful tool. So it's called YouGetSignal.com. It also has other functions on here, but I use it mostly just for check my ports. Okay. All right. So you have that there. Just to let you also guys know, some things you got to be careful on is port 80 is usually going to be blocked on a lot of providers out there on the market, because port 80 is used for businesses. It's not used for personal use. So a lot of ISP providers won't allow you to use port 80 unless you pay for it, pay for a business line instead of a personal line. Okay, so you have to actually pay for it. So if you don't want to do that to get around it, you can use port 8080 like what we use here, or 8000 or any kind of random number. But some providers are kind of smart. They know port 8080 is also being used too. So you can do 81 or 8181 or any number that is not being blocked by the provider. One thing I like to do is just go to Google and type in like we're Cox. I use Cox at home, so I type in Cox and then space block, space ports, and then it's telling me what ports are blocked by Cox. Or like a recent issue, we had an issue with Bell in Canada. So we type in for Bells, and we found out that they block port 443 and some other ports. So you may just want to Google it just to find out. Okay. So yeah, so you can use any of these different numbers. You just have to remember that you are using it. So if you are using these different, like here is 8080, right? So in order for me to access that particular port, I would have to actually go here and type in the IP address, and it would have to be 8080 at the end. So you have to put colon 8080 or 8081 or 8181 or whatever you're going to use. You're going to have to remember this is what I'm using for my external connection. Okay. And just to let you know right offhand, if you are using port 80 and some of these common ports, if you are trying to be PCI compliancy, then most likely you will most likely fail. The PCI compliancy, they do run port check and see which ports are being used. You don't want to use a lot of these common ports because those are going to be used on a lot of DOS attacks and stuff like that. And they don't want people's, especially if you PCI compliancy, it has to deal with credit cards and stuff like that too. So they don't want people to be able to attack their sites and then get into it and then get credit card or whatever. There are a lot of companies that do what do you call it, PCI compliancy for our software. We do have some customers like like DDT. They do what do you call it, PCI compliancy for their customer, and they use our software, multicam software. They're a very good company on doing their PCI compliancy, and they do a random check to make sure that it's always passed the certification test for different companies like Control Scan and some other major companies out there. Okay. All right, so we do have other features on here. The other one is the view log, to run view log whenever it starts up. Bandwidth control. This program isn't used too much, but what this does is it actually allows you to monitor how much bandwidth that you are using on the network, and then you can actually be able to kick people off when they're using your too much network. You can also throttle them to say that they can only use this many kilobit amount of data on your network, and then if they exceed it, you can kick them off and stuff like that. It's just a basic controller. View log, mobile and stuff like that, server. This is where you add in the SSO certificate you're going to be using it or not. So by default, the system has a default of 120 channels for your live videos that'll be streaming out to the outside world. But actually the limitation is actually 200. So you can change that number to 200. And also when you put the max image size as normal, the video quality is low quality. So if you change this to actual size, then you get the high quality. So if I have a 12 megapixel camera and I connect it remotely, the video quality will only be like 640 by 480 or something low like that. But if I put it on actual size, I'll get my 12 megapixel from remote connection. Okay, so that's how you would enable to see remote with high quality. Okay. Next thing we have, a lot of people always end up forgetting, is they connect it remotely. Then they say, "Why I can't even control my PTZ cameras?" Well, actually, you have to go here, and then what it is all the cameras that are on the left side need to be moved to the right side. Left side means that it doesn't work remotely. Right side means that you control the PTZ functions remotely. Okay, so you need to move the camera to the right if they have PTZ functions. PTZ functions mean that you have the pan, tilt, and zoom. As you see here, all these cameras are not PTZs. They're actually just the motorized zoom cameras. So in order for me to control the remote zoom, I had to have the PTZ functions enabled. Okay. Then you got the audio, which is the 6550. This one is really not used anymore because the JPEG image. All right, I don't know why they haven't removed it yet. All right, this one is actually different. If you look on your 17.3, your 17.3 will talk about 56,000. But anyways, on the version 18.1, the 18.1, we've added the QR function. I don't know if we're going to be adding the QR function on 17.4, but currently Multicam 8.8 has QR code, SNVR has QR code, and 18.1 has QR code. So I'm guessing VMS 18.4, they might have it. I'll check with HQC. We'll try to force them into adding it. But basically what the QR code is it allows you to add in the VMS system to connect it to your GVI by using a QR code instead of typing in the IP address, username and password, and all this other stuff like that together as a set. What is QR code? And it also open up the ports. But what a QR code does, it's actually different. What this one does is it actually sends it to a website, not a website, we call it a relay point, like a middleman, okay? So the information of the website, live video, and playback is sent to this middle person, and then you connect to that middle person too. So what it is just saying it this way, we'll give you kind of it connects to like Amazon. So what it is we have a relay point. You connect to that relay, and then this sends it to the relay. So what does that mean is that there's no ports have to be open on the router because the information is being sent outwards. It's not being sent. You're not connecting to the network inwards into the network. So when you're connecting to the network inside, that means port 56,000 has to be opened up on your router. Port 80 and 5550 and 4550 and all, just so you can see remotely. But if you want to see your mobile phone remotely, all you need to do is scan the QR code, and then it'll talk to the relay site and said, I need to access this particular relay point, and then you'll be able to see the live video, and you can also do playback, okay? Just to let you guys know also, it's not a free function. It gives you up to 10 gigs for free. After 10 gigs, for every 10 gigs, it's $1.99 or 99 cents. I think it's $1.99 for every 10 gigs. But 10 gigs is actually a lot of data that's being used. So it charges you that, but it doesn't require any port forwarding. But if you want to do port forwarding and you want it free, then you just do it the old-fashioned way by opening up port 56,000 on your router, and then you can see everything remotely on your phone without having to pay a bandwidth subscription. Okay. So in order to move PTZ, what you need to do, someone has a question on that. So you go back to Toolbar, go to Network, and then you go to Webcam. And under Webcam, there's a section called Video. And then under Video, there's a side right here that says PTZ. And what it is all the cameras are going to be on the left side. If they're on the left side, that means you cannot control them remotely. So what I need to do is I need to click on it one by one or click on Add All, and they're going to be right here, okay? Once they're on the right side and I click OK, and then OK, then when I log on to the website and click on the PTZ button, I'll be able to control them remotely, okay? All right. The next thing we're going to go over is Control Center Server. All right, Control Center Server has these two have to be enabled by the minimum, which is Control Center Service and Remote View Log Service. All right. Now, what it is this has to be enabled, and then this has to be enabled, and then what it does is allows you to connect to see your cameras remotely using a program called ERM. All right. ERM is a program that we use to connect to our camera from a remote site. Okay, that can be on your you can be at wherever you want, like Starbucks or whatever. Give me a second. All right, so here's our office right here. So what you do is you go to the little add button right here, add host. You click on that, and then click on add VMS. And then what you do is you type in the IP address of the computer that you're connecting to, and then the username and password. And then we're using port 80. But remember I told you you had to open up these ports. So it's 3388, and then the 5552, 5611. These three ports are different. These are the ones that are going to be used for ERM. They're not the ones that you use for the web browser. Unfortunately, they have to use their own ports. They don't use the same ports as the web browser. These are the same ports you would also use for Control Center. As you see, Control Center and ERM looks identically the same. Okay, so that's why if you look at it, that's not ERM, that's Control Center. Well, no, it's ERM. Okay. So once you have done, you have to hit. If you hit OK, it's not going to work. You have to hit Update Information, and when you hit Update Information, you'll notice that it pops up and it says successful. If it says not successful, then you need to go back to your Control Center, to your VMS, and make sure that these are checked. Okay. The minimum that has to be checked is this right here, but I would say that you have to do both of these because you want to see live video and I want to see playback. Okay, so I want these two to be open up the minimum. All right. All right. So once I've done that, you'll see that I already have live video here. Also, I do have the ability to connect to Fisher site. Our Fisher site is the office in Indianapolis. So when I type in that IP address and then put update information, all right, then I drag and drop the cameras there. All right, now I'm looking at the cameras in Indianapolis. All right, so these are live cameras from Indianapolis. Looks like there's no one in the office. Let me check some other cameras. I don't see anyone in the office. They may be in the other room, okay? Or at lunch. Yeah, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I guess they're at lunch right now. So, so right now this is connecting to Indianapolis, so I can be at Starbucks or whatever. I can be on the road and I can see the cameras and see what's going on. Also, the ERM software, you do have the ability to go to the playback. Playback on the ERM is a little bit different. What you do is you go to any of the cameras you want. What you do is right-click on it. There's a thing on here that actually might be easier by just going to the camera list, right-click on it. I mean, the name of the site, and then just click on the playback option. Okay. So when you got the playback option, it just only gives you a box, and that box, what you gotta understand, it only does one channel at a time. It does not do multiple channels. It's taking forever to load. All right. Looks like the program from. All right, looking at the program pro. We use this program and install hundreds of programs, so that's, our program becomes unstable. Just to let you guys know, one of the things that we don't recommend for customers to do, but we kind of do it here just for testing and things like that, is we end up installing everything on our system over and over. So we have edge recording, live stream, we have VMS, and then we have VSM, we have ERM, we have all the software on our system. It's not really good to be installing 20 different programs on your system at once. All right. So ERM, the current version right now is version 1.4. Version 2.0 should be released, I think, in July. Version 2.0 will be released. The version 2.0, kind of to give you a hint what it looks like. If you use Remote Vlog 2.0, the one that's on the internet right now, it kind of looks like that. The Control Center 2.0 also will be released pretty soon. It has the layout design is actually different from the current look. We've added a lot of new functions on the new Control Center. Let's see if I have access to it. All right, never mind. All right, so like I mentioned, when you have, let's skip out the Control Center. I don't have access to the new Control Center right now. So let's go on to the next site, which is the website. Or did I change that number? So while this is loading, the what versions of the DVR and VR, I believe versions 8. I think from 8.6 of will be supported. 8.6 of the multicam software, and version 14 of the VMS will all support the ERM 1.4. Okay. All right. So here's the remote connections that we will be seeing from the internet. All right, you'll be able to access any cameras you want here. All right. As you see here, this is a low quality video. When you see this, it says 1/2. Right here is low quality, right? And I don't have option to select high quality. All right. So what you do is you go back here. Come on. All right. All right, so when you go back here, just give me a second. My monitor just turned off. All right, sorry about that. My TV, it keeps on going out. It's a 10-year-old TV. So, so go back to Toolbar, go to webcam server. So what you need to do here is under webcam server, under video, what you need to do is set this to actual size, and then hit OK. Now when you minimize, and then you go to the website, I have to relog back in. All right, as you see it, remember right here when you go, you only had the low quality. Now I have the high quality, okay? So when I click on this, it'll pop up and it'll be high quality now, okay? Also, like some of you guys were asking, so remember I enabled the PTZ? So this is where the PTZ functions will be here now, so I'll be able to control it remotely. So I turn it on, and I can control the zoom in, zoom out from my from the website. Okay. Yeah, 17.4 is in beta stage right now. It should be released pretty soon, probably about a month from now. That's the last I've heard. I can double check to see how close it's to the beta stage. If you want, I'll go over. So we have Control Center 2.0, which will be released supposedly around July time. ERM 2.0 around July time also. We have 17.4. That one supposedly around July time. Let's see what else. We have Remote View Log. We have Remote View Log, not Remote View Log. We have what's his name? The Recording Server 2.0 coming out. Recording Server 2.0 with Gateway 2.0, and those will be 2.0, which is going to be increasing the amount of data. So what now it's going to be supporting, I believe, 256 cameras now instead of 128. Couple of new functions on Control Center will be released, which will be Control Center will now be able to connect to what do you call it, to access control. So it'll be able to connect to ASM. So I will be able to now control my doors from Control Center. I can open up my door, close the doors, see my logs and stuff like that. I can do a lockdown, all that stuff from Control Center now. Let's see what else. So those are the ones that will be released within the next couple months. And those are what everyone's been currently asking for, okay? Enterprise, shoot, well, the 17.4 compatibility with Chrome, they will be increasing the compatibility with Chrome. The H.2.6 support's already been added to 17.3. The multi images for let me show you. When you go to when you go here, there's an option right here called multi-window. For Chrome and for Firefox and stuff like that, it only shows you one camera. But for what's his name, for IE, I can see up to 16 cameras through this JPEG image style. Well, this function will be added to Chrome release. All right, so the Chrome release on 17.4 will be added for that function. Enterprise, I don't know. They keep on pushing that back. Enterprise release most likely going to be pushed always probably around to October time frame. Well, the thing is, the FR server connects to the FR server connects to the AS manager, and then what it is your face is now a card. So whatever schedule that you designate for your card / face, the FR server will designate your face, and then what it does is your face will be swiped on a card, basically with a pretend card reader to the controller. So the controller will have a fake reader on there, basically. So like you have a AS410, we'll just say card reader number 1 will not have a real card reader. It'll be a fake reader, which is actually a camera. And then when it sees your face, it swipes your face, and it opens up the door. Okay. So we have the way I like to do it. I prefer the uninstall way instead of the new version of the VMS does have the option to do upgrade. Give me 1 second, someone's here. Sorry about that. We just had a customer at the door. So one of the things that we do recommend that you just go through. I like to do the uninstall process, but when you do run the new versions, and there is an option to do upgrade, but I prefer to do the uninstall because when the thing is when Windows is running, some things may be locked into the background. You never know what could happen. It may not be updated or whatever. I like to be just safe. It's better to be safe than sorry, as they say. All right, so I prefer to do it that way. So, but you can do the upgrade, but there might be sometimes there depends on, because the thing is your Windows may do certain things in the background that you may never know. Like when you try to force close something and it says you can't because it's running a different program, things like that. Okay. Well, the thing is, the IE browser is just like a temporary viewer. A lot of people don't really like to use IE because IE is really not used anymore and things like that. Even using Chrome and Firefox, people don't really use them too much. People prefer just to use ERM because the ERM also allows you to design your layouts and stuff like that. And also one of the very big benefits of ERM is it has the ability to do saving your layouts and things like that. And what saving layouts does is say that you have 10 different sites. Well, I could program all that into my ERM and save each site as a layout. And then whenever I select that layout, it automatically loads and connects to it right away. So I can see someone's site within seconds. If I use a browser, I have to go through a lot of different steps and things like that. So there are kind of, you don't have to say there's a set rule. There are just people's preference. People prefer to do certain things certain ways. Like me, if I have a site that has a lot of I'm doing a lot of customer sites, I may want to use ERM instead of using the browser because I can set up like I have one site that has like 60 cameras. Well, with ERM, I can load up as a site one has my upstairs camera, my downstairs camera, my warehouse camera, and I can put them as my favorites. So when I load up upstairs camera, it just shows me upstairs. And then when I go to downstairs, it just shows me downstairs. So I can make a layout based on my preference and what I want to see and things like that. So it's a lot more flexible. Okay. I don't believe a lot of the support for Safari isn't available, and Safari isn't one of the browsers that we usually do a lot of testing on. I'll double check with HQ to see if they will support more functions on Safari at this time. But so far with Safari, they kind of can have it like just thinking it more on the back burner. They don't really fully 100% support it because it's not really a browser that's used on the market. Most browser right now is more of is Chrome, and Firefox is the top browser, and even Edge are considered one of the top browsers. Safari, it's up there, but it's not really a very, very common use. But I'll double check with HQ to see if they are going to be pushing towards more Mac stuff. We do have some Mac stuff, but our Mac stuff are very limited at this time. Yeah, there is a Mac version of ERM, and it's very, very old. They haven't updated it in a couple of years. I think it's version 1.2 or something like that. And last time it's been updated maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Let me double check on these. It's just that we have a lot of programmers, so there's a lot of programs, and a lot of things have different release dates and stuff like that. All right, and I don't have everything memorized. All right, so this is how you, this feature right here is only available right now on the IE browser, but this will be released on the Chrome browser, will be released soon. So it'll have this function also. A lot of people like this function because it doesn't use up that much bandwidth. It's just and it's JPEG images and things like that. But it's live. So if someone walks in, you'll see the person walk by and stuff like that. So it's live images, right? So ERM 2.0 should be released probably around July timeframe. Because the thing is, it takes some time. Because the thing is the ERM 2.0, we have a beta version of it right now. But basically what it is, it's a copy of a basic copy of the new control center, and the new control center isn't going to be released until around July timeframe also. So I'm guessing the ERM is probably going to be released at the same time also, because it's basically a copy. If you use control center right now, 3.6 or 3.7, you'll see it looks almost the live view section looks almost identical to ERM, because they're basically it was a copy of that software, and they're doing the same thing for ERM 2.0. Will look like control center 4.0. Okay. All right. So the OCX controls, you may want to double check that. One of the things is that you have to have what it called the UAC features disabled, so you can install the OCX files and stuff like that. If you don't have that, it's because you don't have administrator privileges. So some of the systems won't allow you to install the OCX and other unauthorized authors and things like that. Okay. All right. So the playback on the ERM has finally loaded on the what's his name on the ERM software. So this is what it looks like on the ERM software. But one of the things that you guys got to understand, it only plays back one channel at a time, and you have to go to the cameras on the left side, drag it, and drop it into the playback, and it'll load the other camera's information. All right. So it won't have the information of the other cameras. You have to actually keep on loading them up and stuff like that, okay? As you see here on the drop-down, it's only one camera, okay? So that's one of the drawbacks of this software. The other drawback of this software is if I have multiple films, I cannot select them and combine them as one film. You have to actually keep on exporting as multiple films. That's one of the big drawbacks of the playback feature on the ERM. That's why I like to use remote vlog instead for my playback. Because when I playback on the remote vlog, I can play up to 16 cameras at one time, and then see what's going on between those 16 cameras instead of just one camera at a time. Okay. So remote vlog version right now it's already released. Version 2.0 has already been released. It's an okay version of software. I don't like it too much. I prefer to use the old version because the old version has some unique features that are not available in the 2.0 remote vlog. Like one of the basic function that I think the other ones should have is called the drag and drop. I can take a film from my thumb drive, I drag it and I drop it into the vlog and it plays it. Well, it doesn't do that in version 2.0. But version 2.0, I have the ability to make custom layouts and things like that can be customized in the 2.0, which are not available in the old version. We did have an issue related about switching between certain channels that the video would display. It wasn't related to the fisheye, but it said that I would go to turn to channel 1 or channel 2, and then what happened is the film would get stuck into low quality stream, and then the film is actually frozen. That was actually an issue on the VMS side, and that was patched with a patch. It wasn't the ERM. It was actually the VMS software that caused that problem. something called first in, first out display. So when you were switching channel, it got stuck on a stream, and that stream was frozen on your pop-up. That also happened on the control center. Control center, when you did that, it got stuck also. So contact your support person, and then they will be able to most likely get you the patch for that. Okay? Yeah. So yeah. So but if it's the dewarping, we may have to take a double look at that and see why it's dewarping. But it shouldn't be just dewarping. It should be on any camera that's doing that. Any of the camera, it should have had that issue where it turns when you had it on go from low quality to high quality, it got locked. That was happening on the control center and ERM. But if this side dewarping, contact your support person so we can take a further look into it and see what's causing that particular problem. All right. All right. So this is pretty much everything for the. One second. This is pretty much everything for the remote connections and the playback and stuff like that for our software. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take a couple questions, but what we're going to do now is we were supposed to have a test at the end of the class, and then the thing is, the test I made was only going to be 1 page, but then they changed it, so now it's 3 pages long. So what's going to happen is, if you want to take the test, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to send an email to support at usavision.com and request. All right, and then we'll email it to you, and then just send us with your name and your company on it. The test questions aren't that hard, but they decided to add more questions on it. I was just going to make it some basic questions, but they added, oh, we need more, so they added more questions on it. So just answer those, and then if you pass it, we'll give you a certification for the course and stuff. Also, if you want access to the video, send an email to the email address also to support. If not, you can also paste your email address into the chat session here, and then I'll send a link once it's available to email it to you. Right now, it seems I keep on having an issue uploading this 3 gig file. It's 3 gig for yesterday's video, but I'll fix that issue. I'll probably just upload it at home to upload it onto the internet, because our business network is, sometimes has little problems. So I'll probably upload it at home. But I'm gonna recode this one, and I'll send out this video also for today's video. All right. For the subject line, just just say that you had the VMS course today. So VMS training, you can put it as the subject line. Okay. So if you have any questions, we'll take 10 minutes and answer any of your questions. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording here because it's just too many people. All right, so I'm getting a lot of requests for the video. So I have the list from yesterday, and then I'll combine that list for today, and then I'll send out the video link for that. And then what I'll also do is I'll include the test, the test on the email also. So if you want to, you can fill it out that way. Okay. If you didn't get an email, then just send it to support, and you'll get it that way also. Okay. So either way, you'll get an email some way. Okay.